You wake up in the arms of Solar and Lunar, but confused by what happened. You were still in the dark area of the underground passages, in a hiding spot no one would find. You tiredly look up at the tall animatronic who was currently in sleep mode. Despite still having control over Eclipse's body, they actually looked pretty peaceful while resting. Although, that only lasted a few moments as they started to wake up, sensing that you were no longer asleep.
Why are you awake so early, Starlight?
Since there were no windows for you to see any sunlight, and your Fazwatch was currently destroyed on the floor, there was no way for you to properly tell what time of day it was. Sorry, I couldn't tell. You were still very tired, although you couldn't remember why. You yawned a bit as you relaxed into them, having their multiple arms wrapped around you.
It's 5 a.m. Get some more rest. And when you wake up, I'll have breakfast here waiting for you.
You didn't exactly have that much energy to protest. And if you thought about it, it's not like you really wanted to anyways. Solar and Lunar gently pet your head as you could feel yourself dozing back off. It was 5 a.m. At least you thought it was. It had been at least 4 to 5 hours since you had gotten taken. Solar and Lunar were beside you still asleep, which gave you some time to escape. You slowly got up as to not alert them that you were awake, and silently made your way over to the door before you attempted to open it. The door was unlocked. For all you know, this could have been a trap, as Solar and Lunar made it a point to not leave the door unlocked. But now was your chance. Upon quietly opening the door, you walked a good distance from the room, before running. You had to find the staircase that led to the upper area of the Pizzaplex. You could hear an eerily low growl as you rounded the corner, finding the stairs. You couldn't help but feel like you were being watched, but you chose to ignore it and quickly head up. Upon pushing open the door, you were met with the sight of bright lights and the smell of stale pizza. You didn't have to look that long to find the person you were looking for. Brian! As you ran towards the head maintenance worker, Brian immediately dropped what he was doing to pull you into a tight hug. Holy shit, kid, I thought you were a fucking goner. Where the hell were you? While you were currently being bombarded by Brian's many frantic questions, you noticed the glowing eyes in the darkness of the stairway you just left. The eyes looked and watched in what seemed like sadness before the doors closed for good. You decided maybe you'd end up taking that break your boss suggested. It was 5 a.m. Just one more hour until you'd be able to do what you had planned. With Solar and Lunar still in sleep mode, you had just enough time to prepare what you had to do. You had gotten all the tools necessary and waited for the right moment. At 6 a.m., all animatronics enter a reset mode to reboot their systems for the next day. Thanks to you mentoring under Brian, you knew the reset would temporarily give Eclipse back control. You just had to keep him in control. Once the clock struck 6 a.m., Solar and Lunar jolted awake as Eclipse was given control over their shared body. Without wasting any time, you connected to Eclipse's system using the barely functional remains of your Fazwatch. Once you were connected, you carefully returned Solar and Lunar's code back behind the firewall that was supposed to contain them. Then you waited as Eclipse began to readjust to his surroundings. You could only hope that you managed to work fast enough.
Oh, sorry.
The voice that spoke back was soft, mostly scared and lacked any distortion. You got Eclipse back. Eclipse, oh, thank God you're back. You didn't know if he was aware of what Solar and Lunar had done, but judging by how he hugged you, you had a feeling he remembered.
I'm so sorry, little star. I saw what they were doing. I couldn't stop them. Please, let me make it up to you.
You could tell he actually meant what he said. You can make it up to me by getting us out of here. Without hesitation, they picked you up and made their way to the exit. Once you were in the light and active area of the Pizzaplex, you relaxed. You were finally out. Kid, Eclipse. You could see Brian running over to you two from the help desk. There you are. I thought something bad happened. Are you two okay? Hey, Brian. We're okay. I got Solar and Lunar under control, but I think you should still do a system check on Eclipse. Definitely. But you're going to the first aid station before you clock out. Got it, kid? Of course. Got it. Judging by his silence, you could tell Eclipse was still upset by his actions. You'd have to think of some way to get his mind off of it later, after you were checked out in the first aid station. It was currently almost morning time. You could tell it would be 6 a.m. soon. You had been here for longer than you would like. You had to find some way to get out of here. Then you remembered Brian teaching you about a certain shutdown feature made for Eclipse. The panel that opened on the back of his neck had a shutdown code. 1992. That was the code. Brian told you that year held some significance to him, which is why it was the code. Though it seemed personal, so you didn't bother asking why. You quietly looked up at the sleeping animatronic. This may be your only chance to do this. What do you have to lose? Upon carefully and quietly getting up, you made your way behind Solar and Lunar, positioning yourself before looking for the panel. It didn't take you long to locate the panel and open it before you were greeted with the number keypad. All you had to do was put in the code. 1992. The code was incorrect. Wait, what? But that was... Before you could continue or make a second attempt, 2 hands grabbed your wrists before harshly pinning you to the ground.
You tried to shut us down.
The code you entered should have been correct. Unless...
We told you before, we are not him. It seems you still haven't learned.
Solar and Lunar were both designed with different deactivation codes than Eclipse. Wait, it's not... You were cut off by the 2 of them applying pressure around your neck. It was getting hard to breathe.
We had hopes for you, Starlight. But you're just like her.
Wait, Eclipse.
We are not Eclipse.